I want everybody from this moment on to recognize me as the scholar of boxing.
See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
Cruiser 5 to 50 be advised, County Police 1 advised they're trying to breach and get to the Capitol.
Publicists, when you talk to your publicists, you know the first thing they tell you? What? Stay away from religion, stay away from politics.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
No matter what the you say, somebody passionately disagrees with you.
Absolutely.
No matter what religion, you believe in Allah, then you're saying that's not the right way. You believe in every Christianity, that's not it, because they're choosing something different. Your political party, the Democrat, Republican, the disagreement completely.
Yup.
So I stay away from it. When I get pulled into politics, I go,
Yeah.
and I have nothing to say. I'm just
That's the
looking.
same way we are. We don't no politics, none of
I'll
this.
with that. I don't stay there because I'm still entertainment. If it's not music, then it's film and television, but it's still entertainment. So why would you turn someone off by saying that?
Right.
I want everybody to enjoy what I'm doing.
Right.
Not just a selective few amount of people. I focus on diversity because it's needed.
Right.
The boxing scholar is a lover, not a fighter, but he's also a fighter, so don't get any ideas. If he pats you on the back, you'll put it in your resume. His enemy. Have him listed as an emergency contact. The scholar has an inside joke with complete strangers. If he punched you in the face, you'd have to fight the urge not to thank him. Sharks have a week dedicated to him. He's the only man alive to is parallel park. A train is count to infinity twice. In Genesis, when God said, "Let there be light," the scholars said, "Say pretty please." He is the genius of all genius and master of all masters.
And that's the trick to life. You have to be wise enough to know when you were living in your dream. And you have to be humble enough to accept when you're in someone else's.
Yo, the boxing scholar's on.
His best days.
Brother Bo, hold on, let me get my theme music. You know what, show ain't nothing without the theme music, Bo. Let me drop that theme music, bro. Let's go different. Let's go that right there. Boom, bam, bam. There we go. What's up, Brother Bo? What's going on, man?
What's good? What's good?
Bro, so I know you've seen the thumbnail, bro. There's a guy named Safe Carman out there for you guys who don't know. And me and Bo both are subscribed to him. And he talks about boxing a lot. And he's always, so with older school people, I don't make the mistake that younger school people make, which is they just write old people off because they be a little stuck in their time. And they just write them off, right? So I don't do that. I go to the older people, see what I can learn out of them, and that's what I'm there for solely. I don't focus on anything I disagree with them on. only the stuff that I could learn from them or agree on, right? And I say that to say he's been predicting the fall of boxing for quite a while. What you think about that, Bo? Elaborate a little bit of what he said in the video and tell me what you think about it.
Well, he's basically saying that the guys that selected, like Shakur Stevenson, Terrence Crawford versus Canelo, these fights are not good enough to save boxing. And he said that when you look at what's on the horizon, it's not really a lot of fights that's on the horizon. After you get past Canelo and Crawford, you don't really have nothing else to look forward to. That's what he was saying. He basically says not enough guys in the sport to have a lot of exciting matchups to make in the future. I mean, and to his point, when you look at it right now, it's really nothing to look forward to until we get to Crawford versus Canelo.
And do you agree with that?
No, I mean, I don't think boxing is dead. Obviously, I don't think boxing is dead. But he was right in the sense that there's not really much to look forward to until we get to Crawford versus Canelo and then Benavidez. What's after that, we don't know.
So I'll tell you why I do agree with him. Because boxing is like Jason in the movies that never dies. It'll die, but it comes back. But the drought is unpredictable. You don't know how long it's going to be in that drought. So that's why people don't. And then people never prepare for that wave. When they get spoiled by boxing, they think boxing is going to always be good and great, and they fall into that fool's gold of, well, boxing is going to always be like this. Why? Because it's been like this, and they forget. You know, you got to prepare for famine. You got to prepare for hard times, and I think that's what we're headed for. I know that's what we're headed for. 100% fact, bro. Like, because I was around during the Klitschko era, bro. Klitschko wasn't a bad fighter, bro. He wasn't a bad fighter. He was boring to some, but he wasn't a bad fighter. But the Europeans are on a rise, bro. And if the Europeans take over boxing, bro, it's gonna suck again, bro. It's gonna suck again, because for those who was around during the Vladimir Klitschko era, what they call it, they now call it the jab and grab era, bro. They said that's all he did. Vladimir was not he had a bunch of strikes against him. Right? Number one, he had Emmanuel Stewart to teach him how to fight tall. That was the first strike. So Emmanuel Stewart taught him how to engage in boxing without engaging in punches, right? So he was running around the ring. Well, not running. He would move around the ring, use his height, use his reach, tie you down, and come and knock you out, right? So that was his first strike. You know what I mean? His style. The second strike was he wasn't American. He was a non-American fighter. That was his second strike. Non-American fighter. And then his third was he didn't have any personality, bro. Ain't nobody gonna come to see a dude who's just not even if he's good. You know a good example of this? Better Beef. Better Beef he had 100% knockout ratio, bro. The only people that knew about Better Beef was diehard boxing fans. If I would have asked a casual fan who was Better Beef, they'd be like, who? They didn't know him because he's boring. And then the last final strike is they didn't speak in no English, bro. So had all those strikes and then they can't even articulate themselves, bro. So that's what's headed, bro. If you look at what's out there, you look at what's ranked in the top fighters, you know, Bud, the next big fight in boxing will be Bud versus Canelo. No doubt about that, 100%, right? What's after that? We got Brian Norman and Devin Haney. We're going to still get good fights, but when boxing suffers, when the pound-for-pound fighters aren't American and they don't have personality. And one thing I wanted to mention today, because me and Bo talked about this, you know, Bo was like, well, what about Brian Norman Jr.? Listen, honest assessment, I don't think Brian Norman Jr. has personality. I think his dad is the personality guy, which is why they interviewed a dad. If Brian Norman Jr. had the personality of his dad, they would be seeking out interviews with him because he's not. I mean, he does interviews too as well. He's not shy about giving interviews, but he don't got the personality. What's up? What's up? What's up, Miss T? What's up, Lonzo? But he don't got the personality of his pops. That's why they don't interview him, in my personal opinion. You there, bro? Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I'm still here.
I was finna say, what the hell? I thought my thing went off, but yeah, he don't got the personality of his pops, in my opinion. And the fighters don't be having personality nowadays. Like, look at Bill and Dev. The dads be having more personality than just look at the pound for pound list. Just look at the pound for pound. Look at what's on the trajectory. You look at Boots. You know, he could potential be a pound for pound fighter. You look at what's out there and you just say, okay, what's out there? What do we have now? And the projections look like we're gonna have Europeans dominating the sport and don't have any personality. And Turkey gonna sign them and fight them because he think it's all about fighting. I mean, Turkey kind of alluded to this when he said that the divisions need a black heavyweight.
He said that?
Yeah, he said that, bro. He said the divisions of boxing need a black heavyweight, and that boxing won't be in its proper perspective until we get one. Because he knows historically when we have a black heavyweight, they can say what they want about Deontay Wilder, bro. And I told you this, bro. You were like, damn, bro, you were right. I said, watch, everybody hating on Deontay Wilder, and when this video game come out, bro, they gonna pick Deontay Wilder and spam that right hand, bro. You remember I told you that, bro? And remember what happened when we played online? What happened, bro? It was 1,000 Deontay Wilders out there to fight, bro. 1,000. And everybody was just spamming the right hand. Deontay Wilder, bro, you know, believe it or not, he had swag too, bro. Like, I mean, it was corny to me, but he had swag too. Like, I remember one time he was wearing some shades and like some Gucci stuff. Because remember he was talking about Tyson Fury fit. Like, Wilder was the last American champion, bro. Like, and he was the last American with personality and power. Like, to be honest with you, his skills, he sucked at, but everything else he was pretty good at. He had all the recipes for like making the heavyweight division good again, in my opinion.
He did. I mean, he still did. I mean, honestly, Usyk got to give Wilder a title shot before he retires, man. So he can clean out and say before everybody that was somebody. And Wilder is one of those guys that we got to see Usyk go against, even over the Joseph Parker fight, to be honest. Because say what you want about Joseph Parker, Parker was never considered to be at the top of the division at any point in his career. So that's what I think has to happen. Regarding the Europeans, like honestly, I see this pound for pound list you got in the background. I gotta be honest, man. The fact that they have Crawford at number 3 is blasphemous. And the fact that Usyk is on the pound for pound list is also blasphemous because at the end of the day, in the way, he's good, but he's overrated. He's not better than Crawford. And Usyk, he's he's great. Well, I don't even know if he's great. He's really good as well, but he's not better than Crawford. That's why I gotta say on that. That's what I gotta say.
Bro, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Usyk being compared? I know you've seen Safe Carman's video about Usyk being compared to Muhammad Ali. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you see what he said, bro? How you feel about it?
I mean, I think it's blasphemous. Like, this is bro. I covered it when they beat Daniel Dubois. I kind of said this when he beat Daniel Dubois, man. I basically said that Usyk was a guy who came in and he dominated. Well, we don't really know if he dominated yet because he hadn't fought Wilder, but who rose to the top of a very weak heavyweight division. This heavyweight division is garbage. It's trash. Fury got destroyed by Usyk, man. Only thing that made Fury good was the size. That's it. The skills, they weren't really there. AJ, again, talented boxer at one point, but he doesn't have any heart. He can't stick with a trainer. Technical wise, he's not really that impressive. People like to glaze him. He's not that impressive either. Daniel Dubois, he's a quitter. Serial quitter. He's addicted to quitting. And those are the people that Usyk fought at heavyweight, man. And those guys are not great fighters. Those guys, in my opinion, may not even be Hall of Fame fighters, at the end of the day. But I
was about to say, Tyson Fury, they're going to throw Tyson Fury and AJ in there, definitely, bro. Like, I think about what's in there, bro. They definitely going to throw them in there. But I agree with you on this. I noticed that there's a little bit extra excitement for Usyk beating people that he already beat than there is for anybody else. Like, nobody wants to see the third fight with Beterbiev and Bivol, right? For the same reasons. Like, we already seen it once. But if Usyk fought what you call it again, they probably would champion AJ for a third time. They would champion. If for some reason Usyk get a pass, bro. And Safe Carman made this point. I don't necessarily 100% agree with this, but he do list a lot of facts to present his argument. He basically said this. He said that Alexander Usyk, they compare him to Muhammad Ali, but he won't accept the comparisons. And he said that it's because Usyk respects the game of boxing, and he respects he respects the sports, and he respects black fighters. He said the people who want to make Usyk the greatest fighter to ever live are basically white supremacists. Is what he said, bro. He said they are white supremacists, and he said that they're so interested in their fighter being the greatest fighter of all time that they rush to do it. And if you look at Tyson Fury, they were making Tyson Fury the greatest and saying he could beat every champion that ever came before him. And you ask him why. And the one thing they kept giving you is size, right? And then a guy who's less skilled than Muhammad Ali around the same size comes and beats Tyson Fury. And it's like, well, if Tyson Fury was why was Tyson Fury even considered the great white hope? You know what I mean? And then now, why has it been replaced with Usyk? Why has Usyk being compared to people that fought at heavyweight their entire professional career and have done things that are amazing in 30 to 40 fights? Usyk did that with 5. I agree with that, bro. Why is he being thrown into the lights of Muhammad Ali? Like, listen, like I always say, one of the best boxing minds out there is Paulie Malignaggi. Where Paulie's weaknesses, like fighters got weaknesses, commentators got weaknesses as well. His is race. Anytime, what's up, Opulent? Anytime you invoke European fighters, he always overshoots them. Like the way he still talks about Lomachenko. He don't like Devin Haney, and then he says Devin Haney fought like him, which would probably give him more reasons to like Devin Haney. But he don't like Devin Haney, and he rates Lomachenko really, really high, and Devin Haney beat Lomachenko. You get what I'm saying? Like, doesn't make any sense. That's his weakness right there. But he was talking about Alexander Usyk in these high regards and saying, could he be good in any era? The only good point that Paulie brought up was that southpaws were rare in the sport of boxing, and that trainers would avoid southpaws. Like if you were a southpaw, it was hard for you to get a title shot. That's why most of the people are orthodox fighters, because if you were a southpaw, the boxing promoters and everybody would like steer clear of you, which means you essentially would get ducked and you could never get a title shot. That's why all the fighters were orthodox. They weren't southpaws. So, he did make a good point on that, but you could take a fighter like Michael Moore. Michael Moore was about Usyk's height, probably punched harder than Usyk. Yeah, he punched harder than that's not a bad take. Punched harder than Usyk. And you look at what Michael Moore did, he was knocked out cold by David Tua. So it's like, Michael Moore skipped cruiserweight. He went straight from light heavyweight to heavyweight. So yeah, I completely agree with that, bro. Like us holding Usyk in these hard regards, bro, just because he beat 5 people at heavyweight and had a bunch of rematches with people that he already beat. Isn't that the same argument I make for Sugar Ray Robinson not being the GOAT? Fighting Jake LaMotta 5 or 6 times. 5 or 6 times. Like, that's why I say, like, Well, he was a great fighter, no doubt, no doubt. I would never take that from him. But like a lot of the people I look at on his record, he fought a whole bunch of times. And if that was to if Tyson Fury came back and fought Wilder again, and then fought him another time after that, we would say Tyson Fury was bullying at that point. So yeah,
Yeah.
why are we giving Usyk credit for that? That's what I'm saying. We're trying to be consistent.
Now, granted, Usyk, he has proven that he is the best of his time, but then again, at the same time, you need that Wilder fight. People are gonna say, "Oh man, Wilder this, he lost to this." Wilder, at the end of the day, still was at one point in time, along with AJ and Fury, considered to be at the top of the division. Some people consider Wilder the best guy in the weight class at one point in time. So to say that he's complete, I need to see Usyk wipe Wilder out if he can, beat him in some type of way before he retires. And that's enough to put, like I said, Usyk, he going in the Hall of Fame, but as far as these Ali comparisons, ridiculous, man, blasphemous. And it goes to show you that these giant heavyweights, these guys are overrated. When you look
You
at
you know what's interesting, Bo? You know what's interesting? When Deontay Wilder, when Deontay Wilder was boxing, he said, I got 11 title defenses. I think it was 11, maybe it was 7. But he was comparing himself to Muhammad Ali, right? And everybody laughed at that, including the people that are comparing Usyk to uh, Muhammad Ali. And their logic behind it was, how could he compare himself to Ali? And Ali is one of the great ones. And not only is Ali one of the great ones, but Muhammad Ali got a full body of work and fought better competition. But then Usyk comes along during the same era and fights equally bad as competition as Deontay Wilder, and they say Usyk is the GOAT. Can't make it up.
Usyk got less title defenses as well. I mean, nobody in this division, nobody at this time is better title defensive than Deontay Wilder. No.
And you know,
But
and you know what's really insane? Really insane, bro. The obsession that people have with black fighters. Turkey's not even from America. And he knows it, bro. He knows when the sport was thriving. He knows that when the sport reached all the way overseas to Saudi Arabia was when they had a black heavyweight champion, which is why he tried to come and invest into Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder was all but retired whenever Turkey showed up on his doorstep with a bag for him to fight. He even proof of that too is he even brought Jarrell Miller cheating ass over to Saudi Arabia and gave him a bag because he knows what people will have a hard time admitting, bro. That boxing will always be in its rightful place when there's a black champion there with charisma. Because not only will they be black with charisma, and good athletically, but they will also be all the stuff that I gave the European fighters a X for, and said why Vladimir Klitschko was basically ruining the sport, to no fault of his own. They have personality. They speak English, good English. They know how to articulate themselves. They know how to give a good press conference, a verbal assault. You know what I mean? They know how to do all of the above, and that's the reality of the situation. So it's so funny, it's so funny that you have people, in the chat, like the troll. I'm gonna address his comment because I realize his deep insecurity he shares that with a lot of people. The reason why he's over here, like Floyd said, you here to see me? I'm not here to see you. You here to see me? I don't want to interview you. The reason why y'all go, if I was to look into his YouTube watch hours, I guarantee, out of all the out of all the content creators that he observes, is gonna be black, 100% black, right? And it's like, why is that? Why is that? Why does he show up? Why does he show up to talk about? First off, why does he even show up to talk about boxing? He should be here to learn, not teach anything. But why does he? Why does he? Why do you think that is, bro?
why is he over here?
No, why does it? Why would it? If I look into his YouTube analytics, why would he consume? Why would he consume a lot of black content creators? For the same reason that the sport is gonna die, bro. Their obsession is their obsession is they hate, or they hate is their obsession. You know what I mean? However you want to word it, but that's why, you know, like they want to, they look at that and they're aware of everything that I'm telling them. They know what the Hall of Fame look like. They know it's blasphemy to compare Usyk to Muhammad Ali. They know what the Hall of Fame of boxing looks like. They know, they're aware of it. They know. They look at the NFL basketball. Look at all the sports. They already know. They already know, right? So their insecurity is their downfall, because it will kill boxing when black people are no longer dominating. Why they don't show? Why didn't these same people who's talking about the fall of boxing and black people being mad? Why wasn't they fans of boxing when Vladimir Klitschko was a champion? Because ideally that's what they want, right? I'm their conscious, bro. They don't want that. What they want is black people to dominate, and for them to have a white hope like a Usyk to come in, or like an Eminem and rap to say this is the best person that's ever existed amongst all of these people, while black people are still there, so they can have that the typical white and black dialogue that they used to have. That's that's the elephant in the room, bro.
The funny part about this Usyk thing, so when you look at it, really, and you look at these European guys are just beating up UK fighters, man. It just reestablishes the fact that a lot of UK fighters may be at the bottom of the totem pole, nearly, because it's the UK guys that's getting beat up by the Europeans. Anytime there's an overlap between a European fighter and an American fighter in the same weight class, 9 times out of 10, the European fighter loses. What happened to Lomachenko? He was forced to retire because he was getting beat up by people like Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and then you had Shakur Stevenson coming to the division, and it forced Lomachenko to retire. Who was the guy that Lomachenko beat to get his title back? George Kambosos. George Kambosos, Australian, UK type of guy, Dimitri Bivol. People don't want to admit it. He ducked Dave Benavidez. He ducked him. Dropped his belt. Then he didn't even fight Arthur Beterbiev in a rematch. Beterbiev taking on young contender. Y'all really think Bivol want to see Benavidez? I don't think so, man. I think Benavidez watched Bivol. Who else? Again, Usyk never fought Deontay Wilder. The story goes on and on, man. So this European takeover, I think it's a mirage. In my opinion. I don't think it's real.
You think Benavidez was ducked?
Absolutely. Bivol, people was like, oh, this is what people said. I was like, man, Benavidez is Bivol's mandatory, right? So Benavidez should have been fighting Bivol. People's like, nah, man. Bivol said he want to give Beterbiev the third fight. That's a harder fight, right? That's the story they tell. So, he was like, okay. Turns out Bivol not even fighting Beterbiev. Bivol not fighting at all. So he gave up his title, vacated his belt, gave it to Benavidez to avoid fighting him, and he's not even fight Beterbiev the third time. He definitely ducked. That fight. And I think Benavidez would have put the beats on Bivol. Now, in the future, whatever. Now Benavidez, he fought David Morrell, and he about to fight Anthony Yarde. Those guys are better than the people that Bivol been beating, man. Just being honest, man. I think Bivol is an overrated champion. Gotta be honest.
So I don't know about Bivol ducking Benavidez. I'm gonna be honest with you. Bivol is one of those fighters that I was talking about. That's on the pound for pound list. it's just boring, bro. Like his interviews are boring. His fights are not that boring, but his style is not super exciting. He's just a relaxed fighter that goes to do the job, like really robotic, rhythmic, like the Klitschko brothers. You know, he reminds me a lot of the Klitschko brothers. He just has more hand speed and throws a higher variety of punches because he's a smaller guy. But I don't see the boxing on a good trajectory with the who's on deck, you know. And I'm just preparing everybody, you know what I mean? Don't be listen, y'all know I tell y'all stuff, y'all might argue and stuff like that, and then what, a year, 6 months after that, the stuff comes to pass. So I'm just telling you, boxing could be headed towards some dark times, especially with TK on the horizon, Turkey handing out bags, starting his own league and stuff like that. I think it might be headed for dark times. I think the pound for pound list he gonna shell out money to. I think ESPN Top Rank losing his deal with ESPN is gonna play a factor. I just see in the future, bro. I just don't see boxing. You know, it's not. It's gonna die, but I think it always dies in a rise, like Jason. You know what I mean? So I see it going on the downward swing. So we'll see. You know, we'll see how that goes, because I'll be here to say I told you so. But I think for the most part, yeah, it's on the downward tick. If I'm being honest, bro, I think Turkey Al-Rashid should go buy Pro Box up and just get Pro Box to do what it's already doing and keep it on Wednesdays, and then let us get that Saturday fix of boxing in the Wednesday, like Wednesday night fights, especially since ESPN went off. I don't know if you've seen Teddy Atlas talk about ESPN, but he basically was on the show and he talked about how ESPN had brought boxing in, and they brought in Top Rank. And he said when they brought in Top Rank was on the downswing, like they were doing bad for themselves. And he said that they brought ESPN brought validity because they started giving good matchups. Because Top Rank was doing what it's doing now, that big machine behind them, having no hopers, and just being Top Rank, right? And he said that was a bad strategy for them. And when they came to ESPN, it brought life back to their company. So he said he was really shocked that they would go out and do the same thing that caused the company to be in dire need for that ESPN in the first place. But he talked about this, and I was like, that's actually a good point, and he's right about that. He's right about that.
Wait. So he said that ESPN did the same thing that put him in jeopardy
Yeah, the first time. So the first time, the reason why they needed why not ESPN, why Top Rank needed ESPN is because they had basically turned into what they are now. Basically, they would put a guy in there against a no-hoper. All of Torres' opponents is basically. They would do Torres versus all of his opponents, and people was like, bro, I don't want to watch this. Like, this is boring. And he was like, they did that, and then when they went to ESPN and made the deal with ESPN started putting on more competitive fights, and that kind of saved Top Rank. And he was like, he found it really shocking that Top Rank would go back to the stuff that got them in the situation in the first place. George said, why is boxing in a bad place, though? I don't know if you just got here, George, but I was basically explaining why boxing's in a bad place. Boxing's in a bad place because the guys who are on deck, baseball reference, the guys who are on deck are non-American fighters. And if you don't believe me, look at this. Bo, remember that fight I sent you where Chris Arreola was about to fight and they compared him to Riddick Bowe? HBO was so desperate for an American champion during that time, they started comparing Chris Arreola to Riddick Bowe and saying Chris Arreola will be the next American great champion. That's how desperate they were. But they understood because they had been around the sport for a long time. Remember, HBO used to give the best pre-fight documentary of all time. Their presentations were second to none. And their commentating was pretty good too, because they had a good formula. Get an analyst with a controversial guy, you know what I mean? And then get another analyst that's not controversial to add balance to it. So you got all facets. They were the best. And they understood better than anybody that you need an American heavyweight champion. Because anytime it goes anywhere else, the sport dies a little bit. The only place that could keep it alive is the UK. And even in the UK, they always come to America. You remember when Anthony Joshua got knocked out? He was trying to come over. Eddie Hearns wanted him to make a mass appeal to the American market. Boxing does not survive without the American market. Sorry. If you remove Americans from the market, boxing dies. Period. It's make no mistake about it. We even pay more for pay-per-views than other countries, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, they understood that. That's why they were comparing Chris Arreola to Riddick Bowe, because they understand American heavyweights. But more specific than that, going back to Turkey's comments, if you have a black American heavyweight, boxing thrives. It does. You remember when Deontay Wilder went and fought Tyson Fury, and he was so happy because he was like, finally, like he had made a lot of money for that fight, and the fight was historic. You remember the views for Tyson Fury 3 were like incredible for a heavyweight match. They were talking about how this hadn't been done in a long time. It's because you had all the elements of it. You had a rivalry, which is really, really good for the sport. You had a controversy, which is good for the sport, 50-50 fight. You had all the makings of it, and then you had an American heavyweight and a black heavyweight at that. So you had the racial tribalism barrier there too as well. It was perfect. But if you look at what's out there now, you look at the heavyweight division, which is our best division, and it's our best commercial for our sport. You look at what's out there, it's not looking too good. And then you look at the pound for pound list in total, just not looking good. Just remember the scholar told you that we're headed for dark times as far as boxing is concerned. Just remember I told you that. And a lot of it's going to be dictated to how the results of the Canelo versus Bud fight. That fight is going to hold a lot of validity. A lot of validity in the overall.
What?
It's going to hold a lot of validity in the overall of our sport. Like, you remember how Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather was like really, really big in the sport, and like it was like the fight that everybody want to see. Celebrities showed up and stuff like that. What's up, Lonzo? Yeah, celebrities showed up and everything like that, and then they showed up, and then the fight was a dud. This fight has that potential as far as the celebrities showing up and everything. If this fight is a dud, bro, and then we got what we got on the horizon, boxing gonna be in a real hard time, bro. We're gonna call this the Great Boxing Depression. If that fight is bad, but honestly, I don't see any scenario in which that fight is bad. My personal opinion.
Oh, Crawford Canelo?
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't think so. I think it's gonna live up to the. I think it's gonna live up to the hype.
Even Inoue is not American as an older guy. Like, people don't even realize there was a picture I seen, and it had like Jared Hurd, Jamel, the Charlo brothers. It had like all of the champions during that time, and including Wilder. And it's like all of those guys are gone now. Like that whole era is like ushered out now, and it's only a couple of them left, a handful of them left. Bud even said it. Bud said something that went over a lot of people's head because they want to focus on the sensationalism. But he said that he was like, me and Canelo, the last of the two great fighters of our generation. And he not lying. He talking about that class that came in with the Charlos and stuff like that. He's not lying. They are dropping like flies. You know what I mean? And then you got listen. And then you talk about the health of the sport right now. Mario Barrios is a champion. Ryan Garcia is a prospect that's never been champion, but still popular in the sport. It's just boxing is right now, like I said, the trajectory is downward, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. And then, another thing Safe Carman touched on that most people wouldn't touch on, this is why I watch his channel, is that a lot of the people, there's too many chat boxes nowadays, meaning like a lot of the youth would rather talk about boxing than actually participate in boxing. Like, I be seeing people online and they be like, yeah, boxing need to get back to the glory days, blah, 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 woo woo woo. And you be like, yeah, man, how old are you? 19. 19? Get your ass up and go to your boxing gym. What you doing up here debating with the people who passed their prime? Go box. The gyms are shutting down. It's a lot of stuff that goes into the sport being on a downward trajectory, and it's here. It's here. Y'all get ready for it. Just remember I told you. What's up, I know boxing? What's up, Vay? Just remember I told y'all that. Y'all gonna be like, y'all gonna deny it now, but y'all gonna be like, damn, man, he was right about this. Boxing is in a bad space. It is dying, or whatever the case may be. It's either dying or it's dead. But the best part about boxing is it don't stay dead once it die. It come back. So that's good news. But bad news is we don't know when it's gonna come back. Boxing in a nutshell is the Geico commercial. So I got some good news for y'all. I got some bad news. The good news is I saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. The bad news is boxing is on a bad trajectory. So make sure y'all support this fight. And to Bud and Canelo, I hope y'all show up and actually produce, man, because if y'all don't, got a lot riding on that fight.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Looking at this pound for pound list, America still rules boxing, bro.
You said what?
I said, looking at that pound for pound list, America still rules boxing. Because after Crawford retires, if we talking about trajectory, the fighter that's most likely going to become pound for pound number one, really, is going to be Bam Rodriguez, most likely. That's really the guy that's on the come up, and that's an American fighter. Not to mention,
and he's Mexican American, so that means some gray area there.
No, that's American by virtue of Mexico.
I mean, but Canelo technically, Canelo has tried to. He's Mexican, bro, but he's trying to transition into America. Like he plays golf now and everything, bro. Like it just depends. Yeah, but I mean, bro,
that's
can't.
American.
What? Okay, hold on. What Floyd say? What Floyd say about Margarito? Not Margarito. What dude knocked out Ben Marquez? What did he say about him?
I don't know. I don't know.
He got a country behind him. He got a country. So anytime somebody fights, whether they're from Mexico or Mexican American, Mexicans support them. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So that's a little bit different. You know, if Bam does become a star, the problem that I think Bam might run into is opponents. I think his stardom suffers because he's not a big guy. If he was like up at welterweight or something, then okay. I think the cutoff for superstars is probably 147. That's why they always go for that division. And that's because historically speaking, even before Floyd Mayweather, you had Sugar Ray. You know what I mean? Like you had a bunch of people at 47 that were still superstars. So that's like the beginning of superstardom. You smaller than that as a man, people ain't really gonna pay no attention to you. Boxing fans will, but I'm talking about mass global appeal. And even Floyd Mayweather is he's a small, scared man, in the words of Mike Tyson. But Bulbos, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this one time. I'm gonna put you in timeout. If you come back out and you say something stupid, or you say anything I feel like negative towards black people, I'm gonna block you permanently. You got to make another account. So that's how we're gonna do that, Bulbos. I'm not everybody else that you've been controlling throughout the entire day. Like number one, I don't think you're intelligent, and I don't like unintelligent people in my chat. But number two, you know, I'm gonna teach you some. I'm gonna teach you some act right over here. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn today because I ain't teaching tomorrow. But yeah, what'd you say?
That's crazy. Nah, that dude, that's no. He came back. Oh.
Yeah, I know who it is, Lonzo. That he's a weirdo, man. Dude's weird, man. But I'm gonna put him in timeout. He come back with that bull stuff, bro. He gone forever.
Bro, I think with Bam, man, I think his opponent is really gonna be Inoue, man. And based off the age of Bam Rodriguez, I think he only like 24. And by the time he meet Inoue, he'll most likely overtake Inoue. I think he will.
But Inoue is an example of that. Inoue might get knocked out. He might get knocked out, bro, because he keep jumping up in weight. And those guys are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know. So I just look at it like I don't know, bro. I don't know. Bro. You make more money as a boxer the heavier you are. That's why they always move up in weight. And I look at Manny Pacquiao and where he started off and where he moved up to, you know, and stuff like that. And I think Bam might have a cap on how heavy he could go. So him being a super duper star in the sport of boxing, I don't think it's possible. Well, I could be wrong. You never know. You never know what the fans are gonna want. Because there's a lot of things where I'll be like, man, fans ain't really gonna want that. And that's what they be demanding. So you never know where the tide is gonna swing because they so fickle, bro. They complain about everything, bro. So look, I told everybody I didn't want this fight, but I told everybody also why. Because I wanted Bud to retire undefeated. And I would rather him, like, there's like 154-pound division is the best division. I would rather see Bud make noise at that division than jump up and fight Canelo, but I get it. But at the same time, the fight's going to be exciting style-wise. Like, I think it's going to be a back-and-forth fight battle. It's going to be star-studded. The price of the tickets I already tell you is going to be star-studded. So I look at that and I'm like, okay, this theoretically is going to be a good fight. So, you know, really not a lot to complain about. People still find reasons to complain, bro.
I heard that 52,000 or 54,000 tickets already been sold, bro.
I don't know about that.
That's crazy.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that many tickets have been sold, but I know they're expensive because I was gonna go, but bro, I'm not paying that, bro. Bro, I'm getting older, bro. The older you get, the better decisions you start to make. And I look at it like this fight is not gonna bring me anything, bro. Unless I go there as media, then it would bring me something. But other than that, bro, it's not gonna bring me anything. I'm not spending money on traveling out there, you know, and then paying a lot of money for the fight when I got a big ass TV in my house and I got a free Netflix account, bro. Only way that comes back to bite me is if it buffers again and all you see is Mike Tyson's ass like you did on the Jake Paul fight. Yo, Mike Tyson was tripping, bro. Mike Tyson was tripping, bro. All you see was Mike Tyson's cheeks, bro. To be honest with you, y'all seen that at the house. I didn't see that at the fight. I didn't know about that until I got back. I was like, what the? That was hilarious, though.
No. Yeah,
Bro, this always goes back to this, bro. And I hate to say it, but really I don't. Jake Paul, bro, he the future of the sport. How old is Jake Paul?
You gotta be like 29, 27.
Jake Paul and Boots the same age, and I think Jake Paul got a better resume, bro.
That's it.
You remember when I was telling everybody that Boots and how Boots was overrated? Remember they was arguing with me tooth and nail about that? Told me I was hating, only for years later to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Crazy work, bro. They always come full circle, bro.
They always pound number one, bro.
Huh?
It's not looking like that now.
Who said that?
People were saying that Boots was gonna be pound for pound number one after Bud.
Oh yeah, they did, bro. They said he was next up in the division, and that the 147 division is his. Who would have ever thought that a year or two later after all those statements that Boots wouldn't fight absolutely nobody. And not only would he not fight anybody, but he would demand years later, Turkey to give him tune-up money and a tune-up fight. Excuse me, a tune-up fight with money that, for, well, I guess Turkey is a big payday, so tune-up money too. But he wanted all of that, bro. And what's really funny? Turkey told him this ain't a charity. And somebody brought this up. I can't remember. I think it might have been a boxing voice. But they were like, why would Boots demand a tune-up fight for Turkey for moving up to 154 pounds? And Bud did it in his first fight, and it was for a championship belt. And he didn't ask for a tune-up. He moved up to 154 pounds and went straight to a champion.
Facts. Go to show you that. That's why I said that. But that's a fighter, man.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would deny that. I just look at Bud like scholar watching a movie, but always hit the like button. Oh, you watching a movie? Got you. Thank you, Miss T. I'm not putting it on the screen. Hey, bro, Polo Dildo, change your picture, bro.
Ooh.
It's a troll account, bro. Y'all gotta change our picture, bro. I'm gonna block y'all, bro. But yeah, bro, they threw me off with that weird shit, bro. They crazy, bro. Well, yeah, bro. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Bud stepping up and fighting at 154 without no tune-up. It just shows the level of somebody said Chavez Senior the GOAT of what? Yeah, just show you the difference in mindset. And it show you that, when a scholar be telling y'all stuff, man, I gotta be listening, especially when regards with the boxing. Like, I know the sport of boxing. I tell y'all somebody is somebody like a Boots or a Shakur, you gotta listen, man. And you know what? Let me tell you another prediction that you're gonna be like, man, no, you're gonna argue and then it's gonna come true. Shakur Stevenson, after he got that win, he's gonna act like that was his Spence versus Bud fight because he now thinks he's the guy. He thinks like, oh my gosh, like nobody could beat me. Like I told y'all, he gonna look at Zepeda on the level of a Spence. You know what I mean? Even though that wasn't for undisputed. And he's gonna start telling himself, he's gonna start riding really, really high off this victory. And the next fight, he might price himself out with Turkey, or he might not even fight with Turkey because he gonna start to look at himself as the A side. He's gonna get really full of himself after that fight, after that performance and after that fight. And he's gonna start to overrate himself. Watch what I tell you. I could already see it. I already seen it a little bit. I seen even by him calling out Conor Ben. It's like, bro, Conor Ben would kill Shakur, bro. And like he's on steroids too, on top of just naturally being the bigger guy. Bro, Shakur needs to stay away from that guy, bro. Yeah. And definitely he needs to stay away from that guy.
I mean, imagine fighting. You're gonna fight Conor Ben, he might as well go to 147.
Bro, he ain't going, bro.
There's no way, bro. Because
I was about to say, brother, Conor Ben, bro, he probably wouldn't even theoretically fight Devin Haney or Brian Norman Jr. Like, it's laughable to even think that he will fight Ben. He's not gonna do it, bro. And people don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when Shakur's next opponent ain't named Conor or Ben, and him and Turkey have a fallout, and he ends up going and fighting lesser opposition, claiming he's the A side. Just watch what I tell you, because I know Bud gave him a pep talk before that fight. That's why he mentally was prepared for that fight. because Bud was involved. Bud told him how much that fight meant. He told him, I'm pretty sure Jay Prince talked to him too. They told him, like, this is your, he told him that this is your Spence fight. You got to make good on this. You got to perform. You got to go out there. You can't run from it. He told him all this. I'm positive of it. And Shakur went out there and fought against his character and his identity. So he's going to think that he's owed money now. He's going to think that nobody really could mess with him because he fought out of his identity and still won. And then the scorecards being wide is even more. So he put on a good show finally. Because remember, this is the guy who kept having fights in his hometown with Top Rank where people was just walking out of the fight. Just watch how cocky Shakur get after this. Just watch. He said, too many weight class. He said, who you got, though, seriously? If they fought, Boots or Virgil? I got Virgil, bro, easy. Easy, bro. Virgil wins that easy. The reason why I say that is because Virgil fights similar to Villa, but Virgil has more power than Villa. And I think the power will make Boots back down. I don't think Boots will ever sit in the pocket with anybody who has just as much power as him or more power. I think he'll start to use his legs and start like cowering from the power. You know what I mean? I seen in moments in the fight with Stanionis where Stanionis ain't no power puncher. Outside of the jab, Stanionis don't have a whole lot of power. I don't know what his record is out of those 15, 16 fights. I'm pretty sure he don't got a hell of a lot of stoppages. But even he was backing Boots up at times. And I remember I told y'all this too. I said Boots was gonna end up like Jared Hurd, where he stayed at the weight too long and his body is dead at the weight. You remember I told you that? And then I had B. Norman Sr. on the show, and I told him Boots is dead at that weight. He said, I disagree with you, man. I don't think he dead at the weight. Shit, he moved up the very next fight. I know he was dead at the weight. It's a whole bunch of clips that I've seen throughout the years, and Boots is the big guy. Not a tall guy, but he's a big guy. I remember he was commentating a fight one time, and they asked him how much he weighed, and he just smiled, and they kept going up and up and up, and he wouldn't say. And I'm like, damn, that much? You know what I mean? They had stopped at like 160, and he was still like, nah. Like, I'm like, damn, he weighed that much in between fights? How the hell is he making 147? And then one for sure sign that a fighter is struggling to make weight when they bring in a nutritionist. Errol Spence did it before the Bud fight. They always bring a nutritionist when they're about to lead a division. They're struggling to make the weight because it's logical. Why wouldn't you bring in somebody who can help you safely make the weight without being deprived of nutrition? Common sense, right? They bring in a nutritionist and they never had one. That is a clear sign that they've outgrown the weight. That's what Boots did.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. So he's really weight bullying people, bro. Right at artificial weights.
Yeah. So, yeah, bro.
I'm surprised.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I want to hear this because you was telling me, bro. You was telling me that Canelo was going to get the beats put on him by Bud, bro. Give us that breakdown real quick.
Like why?
How does it go down, and where does Bud go from there?
Okay. I really want to say Bud by stoppage. Probably Canelo quitting on the stool and also throwing in the towel. But you never know. So I'm going to say Crawford by decision. I was recently watching Canelo. People are talking about the decline and the age of, they're talking about the size primarily, that Crawford's going to be moving up. But, it's not enough. It's not enough to sway the fight in Canelo's favor, given the fact that Crawford is the more skilled fighter. he's the fresher fighter. Despite the age, Canelo's definitely the older fighter in the ring. You could see that in Canelo's past three fights, past three performances. He has not looked like the Canelo of old. And Crawford has slowed down a little, but if you go back and watch that Majimov fight, it's not too dissimilar from what he was looking like at 147. It's not too much on the opposite end of the spectrum. But if you go look at Canelo versus, say, Caleb Plant, and you look at Canelo versus Berlanga, you can clearly see that Canelo has dropped a couple of tiers. He fights like an old man nowadays, as far as just slowing down the pace of the fight, throwing, again, one power shot, one shot at a time. That's not going to be enough to beat Crawford or knock Crawford out. When you saw that when he dropped Berlanga with one shot, but even that one shot, as trash as Berlanga was, that's not enough to knock out Berlanga. When Hamza Shiraz put Berlanga away, he did it using a combination, and Canelo's he's not throwing those type of punches now. Canelo's his hand speed has slowed down, his legs, they're not the same. His head movement is not really there anymore. The counter punches, they're not really as good as they used to be. He's not as explosive as he used to be. He's looking, kind of stiff in the ring nowadays. I think Crawford honestly may stop him. I mean, based off of that, I will honestly say that Crawford will stop Canelo. And if he does do that, I don't see Crawford avoiding a potential Dave Benavidez matchup. To be honest, I don't see that. If Crawford beats Canelo, I don't know if Canelo will want a rematch with Crawford after getting stopped. And I could see a world where Crawford may end up fighting Benavidez. Possible. If he doesn't retire. And yeah, at that point, Crawford may move up to 175. Who knows? But that's what I think.
Bro, Bud ain't moving up to no 170. Bro, that's crazy work, bro. Can I tell you something, bro?
Yeah, that may be crazy, but I mean, people thought this Canelo fight was crazy.
Bro, and that's and even craziness got its limits, bro. When I was downtown, bro, a lot of stuff I didn't have to say out of my mouth. I would just be like, hey man, you do this again? You know what I mean? Because crazy got to understand it. And yeah, this fight is crazy, but he's gaining a lot. What is that 75 that he gonna gain, bro? Like he can't get undisputed in one fight unless he. But by the time he gets to 75, somebody gonna be stripped anyway. They're probably gonna strip the IBF. Probably gonna strip Dmitry Bivol. But and more than likely Bivol, bro. Bivol's the best at 75, bro. But Bivol will dust Canelo, bro. I mean, excuse me. Well, he already dusted Canelo. You don't need me to say that. But he would dust Bud Crawford, bro. No matter what the outcome of Canelo versus Crawford is. And there's nobody he could beat at 75. If anything, I heard him talking, bro. And you know what he said, bro? He said that he wouldn't be opposed to the idea of going back down to 54.
Yeah. That could be a reality too.
And I think that's stupid.
The situation of the belts.
Yo, George said he couldn't stop Masvidal though, but he could stop Canelo.
Yeah. I mean, I went back. I seen that Majimov fight several times, man. Again, it was the style of the fight. And when you go to the late rounds of the fight, bro, he was getting off on Majimov, bro. Majimov said himself that he didn't want to take any risk because he was scared that he was going to get hurt. And then he felt that Crawford was a crafty guy. He was scared he might get hit with something, man. And that showed in the fight. He changed his whole style. So, and also, again, in the late rounds, when Crawford started to really open up on him, if that fight was 15 rounds, I think he could have stopped Majimov, again. And if there was to fight a second time, I think Crawford would stop him. So, I mean, that's like saying Yeah, so yeah, man, yeah, I think he could stop Canelo, man, still. Canelo's an old man, bro. He's still pound for pound. He's still the best guy at 168, but Crawford gonna stop all that stuff that he got going on over there. Remember, Canelo didn't want to take this fight.
Yeah, but it wasn't because it didn't have money involved, bro. If this if this fight had if this fight was a big money fight without Turkey Al-Sheed, he would have took it in a heartbeat, bro. Because I don't know if you don't see the play with Canelo, bro, but Canelo knows that he's slipping, and he knows that a slipping fighter in the sport of boxing is a non-marketable fighter. Nobody wants to see you fight past your prime, bro. Or if you are past your prime, you only got a couple fights, or you could demand the most money because you're not the most talented anymore. So he's aware of this. So the reason why he didn't sit down in the male fight is because he wanted to present to everybody that I'm the best. The reason why he made a statement after the fight, now nobody beats that version of Canelo is because he wants this public perception. So a fight like Bud is easy for him, in my opinion, where he could go out, say he's undisputed, say that he's the best fighter pound for pound. So when he beats him, he's already told everybody everything good about Bud. Even when he talk about Bud resume and stuff, but he's gonna sell that as I told you I'm the best fighter in the world. And then don't be surprised if he fights Jake Paul after this. Or if he fight he's gonna fight easy fights that are lucrative because Turkey said it himself. He said that this is not a charity and that he's not in the business of just giving out free money. And Canelo is the money guy. Canelo will make him the most money. So he's not dumb. He's a businessman. He's gonna go where the money is. So he's gonna continue business with Canelo. And Canelo's the younger fighter out of the two that is gonna pack seats out of the two. So he's gonna make the business decision. That's why I don't see um Crawford getting the nod if it goes to a decision. My opinion. What's up, Cassie? In my opinion, that's why I don't see it going.
Gotta be honest, fellas. Canelo's on his way out. I mean, people could say that he's the cash
What about
cow.
Bud? Is Bud on his way out?
It's not enough.
You don't think Bud's on his way out?
No.
Even though you was the one that brought it to my attention and showed me the video where he said that he was fit to retire. He was all but retired in the fight with before he got Spence, and that he was about to retire, and then he got the call to fight Spence.
Because we couldn't get the fights.
Okay, but there's other fights out there besides Spence.
No, there wasn't. It needed to be Spence.
Bo, is your smoke detector getting louder? Everybody always talk about your smoke detector. I ain't gonna lie. I think it is getting louder though, bro. You might need to change that, bro.
I'm gonna get y'all some 9-color vaults from Costco. Whose smoke detector is that? Bro.
That's hilarious, bro. Hey, you know what's funny, bro? I'm gonna get all positive. I'm gonna get all positive, bro, to make me a smoke alarm beat, so nobody will be able to tell it. We're gonna lay some bars over here, bro.
Bro, they don't want to get a smoke detector fixed, bro.
What you talking about?
I'm talking about the people that leave.
So whenever that was happening at my house, Bo, I had to go change the battery of all the smoke detectors because they work in unison. And I looked up online like how to figure out which smoke detector it was. You had to like hold a button down with the ones I had, and then I did it, and it still chirped. And I'm like, what the? But when I changed all of them, it didn't chirp anymore.
See, I think I also heard it could be because the smoke detectors it's dead. The smoke detectors may need to be replaced.
Hey,
This nigga spamming. But
bro, you over there playing the game, bro. That's crazy word, bro.
yeah, man.
Bro, you over there getting clapped and what you playing? Fortnite?
Bleach. I mean, no, not Bleach. Undisputed.
Are you playing on the Speedy? You got a PS5?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. All right. But yeah, man, that's all I got, bro. I think I'm gonna do another live. I want to do a boxing live, bro. We gotta do the boxing
Wait a
live.
minute. Hold up. Wait, you really don't? Okay, man. I don't see. I don't see how y'all think Canelo is somehow gonna stop Crawford, bro. It's not possible. Not fighting the way he's fighting. He's not stopping Crawford. I'm sorry. Crawford really might stop him. I'm dead, bro.
Bro,
Like,
you don't fucking stop.
Bro,
I got a feeling. I got a feeling that Crawford gonna be dead like that smoke detector, bro. That's what I, bro. When Crawford get cooked, bro, if your smoke detector ain't fixed, bro, it's gonna be perfect, bro. Especially if we do a live, bro. Let me tell you, bro. Nah, he's getting knocked out, bro. I know you got high hopes for Bud, and you want to see him do good, and you're rooting for him, and you want to say, I picked the upset, bro. Huh? I didn't hear you. Broke up. I couldn't hear you. Was breaking up. What'd you say?
No, I said like based on what?
Is what that he's gonna get knocked out?
And what's one reason you get knocked out?
Oh
God.
Yo, bro, they talk about starting to go funny. They talk about starting to go funny for your to get you some batteries for your fire alarm. No, bro, I'm laughing, but like dead ass, bro. You probably do need to check on that, bro. Like the one thing that can like be the most dangerous thing is a fire in your house and your smoke alarms don't work. So I ain't gonna lie, bro. That is a safety hazard. If you want anything broken in the house or not working working properly, it's that. Bro, let me tell you this. One time, bro, let me tell you how crazy this shit is, bro. So I like the grill, bro. I don't use like charcoal, but I like propane. I'm like King of the Hill. I'm like Hank from King of the Hill, bro. I like propane, right? So one day I was making some ribs, some pork ribs, and I was making like some spicy, bro. It was good as shit, bro. But I was making them for like a lot of people, bro. So I was cooking a bunch, right? And you know how it is. I turn it up so you get that little grill mark on it, like, psst, you know what I mean? Flip it on both sides, get that. Oh my, it was delicious, bro. Right? So I went back inside. So I was barbecuing or grilling, and I was going back and forth inside and outside, right? And I remember I went back in and I caught a good boxing video that I was watching. And when I was like distracted for a little bit, I forgot to go back because I was going out maybe every 5-10 minutes to go look. But I got like zoomed into that video or whatever, right? And bro, when I tell you that was almost a fire, bro, like I went back outside, bro. It was, bro, up under that grill, bro. It was like a big fire, bro. It took me a while to like put that stuff out because it was like grease and stuff up under there, bro. So it was a grease fire. I was like, dang, bro, that like if it would have caught fire and then hit this propane tank, bro, man, bro, would have blew up half the house, bro. That it wasn't even my house. I was staying with somebody.
You said it blew up the house?
It would have.
That's crazy.
Like if I wouldn't have caught it in time, bro, that fire was so big, it would have caught the propane and it would have like, you know what I mean? It would have been like, it would have been pretty detrimental to the house. And like I said, it wasn't even my house. It was my cousin's house. So good, I had to learn that lesson in somebody else's house. See how God worked. But nah, I say all that to say, if you have a tragedy or something happen to your house, fire is at the top of the list. You know, it's above flood depending on what area you stay in. So you might want to get that. You might really want to get that taken care of, brother.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, you did just remind me of something. Okay, so on a side note, man, somebody that I watched, the guy who predicted, this ain't got nothing to do with what we talk about now. The guy who predicted that um that Israel would bomb Iran. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Let me double check something because I get these countries mixed up. Hold up, hold up. Is it Iran or is it No, it's not Syria. Okay. Okay, so look, the guy who predicted that Israel would bomb Iran 2 days, like 2 days before it happened, he said he recently was talking about World War III, and he basically said that you can't trust what the if you look online, basically a lot of cities are most likely to get hit. You know, a lot of places are likely to get bombed in a potential World War III situation. So that means that you would be dealing with a lot of vigilantes, essentially, if that was to happen. So basically, I'm just saying is to be prepared, possible.
Brother, then
If
nothing's
he
gonna happen
predicted,
to us, bro.
if he predicted whatchamacallit sending the first strike, Israel sending the first strike to Iran,
It wasn't hard to
pretty
predict,
sure
bro.
he's gonna be accurate about
Nah, it wasn't hard to predict. That
that.
Netanyahu has been threatening to bomb to bomb them for years, bro. Like he's been trying to get America and other countries to bomb them too as well. Iran saying that they had nuclear bombs. Like that wasn't you don't have to be Nostradamus to predict anything like that. And to be honest with you, bro, Israel has a Iron Dome around them, and it wards off bombs. That's our old, outdated weapons. What do you think that we have, bro? If Israel has an Iron Dome, what do you think America has, bro?
I mean, no, I don't think we're losing a war, but I'm just saying, like it's a likelihood where, like America could be hit for the first time with a catastrophic weapon. That's never happened. Maybe even a nuclear weapon. So I'm just saying that people should be getting prepared for that type of situation
Nah,
if that was to happen. As far
nah.
as
How you gonna
as
prepare for that,
as far as you gotta have you got as far as arming yourself and being physically prepared to protect
bro? You think you so you think
or being like
you,
basically what he was saying is that if you live in a major city, you're at risk. If you don't get hit
bro,
by if you
bro?
don't get
That's
hit
crazy.
by a bomb, if you don't get hit by a bomb, you're gonna have to deal with the fallout, such as vigilantes, people going wild, attacking people, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, whoever said that watched too much movies. It's not happening, bro.
I'm just saying, man, I'm getting prepared for that, man. So
You get you,
as far as arming yourself, making sure you're physically fit, all that type of stuff. Hopefully, making sure you live outside of a major city, maybe in a more rural environment where people are, farther away from each other.
bro.
You
They
know,
said your smoke detector is a paid analyst. Bro, how you gonna get prepared, bro, with the smoke detector chirping, bro? That's crazy work, bro. So you finna go pay for a firearm?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, bro, to be honest with you, bro, if you ever like,
Well, I'm gonna need multiple firearms, to be honest with you.
if one of the people ever get like blinded during the battle, bro, they'll just follow the chirps to your house, bro. They'll be like, hold on, here's something. Chirp, chirp. They're gonna come to your house, bro.
I'm in a bad location, man. They was right there, bro. So if a neighbor wanted to break into your house and do what they wanted to with you, you know, as far as, you know, because in a situation where America is possibly at war and America's getting attacked, you're not really going to be able to depend on the police at that point. Now you got to take everything in your own hands. That could be a situation that America.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Maybe not. So yeah, man. Listen. Um, I don't even know where Bo went. So Bo ain't here no more. He got tired of y'all. Y'all done trolled my homie till he said F it and got out the panel, man. Y'all ain't gonna keep talking about my fire alarm. So yeah, we talked to this. I just want to do an hour of boxing to get everybody their boxing fix or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna come back later on. And do a non-boxing live. I just wanted to get the boxing out the way. So yeah. So give me some time. Maybe around maybe about an hour, 30 minutes, we'll be back with another live non-boxing because I wanted to talk about the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Peace and blessings. He had a message for everybody. And it ain't a nice one. So we'll be back with the non-boxing. Bo, you finna be up, bro?
Huh?
You there? You finna be up?
It depends.
I can't hear you.
I said it depends.
I'm probably for to come back and do. I just wanted to do a boxing live. I'm gonna come back and do a non-boxing live.
Oh, yeah. Well, I ain't gonna lie, man. I might. Yeah. Oh, okay. You gonna come back to it?
All right, I'll send you the link. Shout out to Vay for calling me. Is Scholar Umar what they call me now? It's funny. That's a compliment to Umar. But yeah, we'll be back with a non-boxing. We got about we did like hour of boxing talk today, so that's pretty good for everybody to go back and hit the playback. So what I'm gonna do is we'll stop this in this live, and we'll be back later on. You got any closing thoughts?
Fellas, man, just don't be surprised if Bud stop Canelo, man. Guys, just don't be surprised if Bud stop Canelo. It's more likely that Bud stopped Canelo than the other way around. I just say that.
All right. And on that note, Ray J, serenade everybody, make the pennies wet, and take us on.
Star, wish to have a fancy car, wish to have $1 million bucks. Well, I wish I don't be in love. So tell me, pretty baby, I make one wish and I wish it all on you. Making love to the break of dawn, me and you to the baby's born, till my baby's born.